This was my dad, Larry Cunha. He is terribly missed by my mom and his family, as his heart attack took him so quickly at the age of 64. I loved my father and wished at his end I could have hugged him and told him so. But life goes on. As it turned out, my mom still had a long life to live without him. Aside from life with children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, Mom was still in great shape and had the confidence to see as much of the world as she could for herself. She enjoyed traveling on land and on sea. And on camel, bringing back wonderful pictures to share with us all.
Call us crazy, but the road just outside our bedroom window on 301 Henderson Drive had grown from a 2-lane country road to a growling 6-lane urban expressway. And since we were on the road in the music business most of the time, we fell for a beautiful new home in Arnold, California.
So we packed up our pal Pierre and all our wonderful memories from 301 Henderson Drive and moved to the Sierras, where the realtor promised us we'd only see a skiff of snow every now and then.
This home was a true piece of art built by Ron Bloodworth, a craftsman who lived just down the hill and across the street.
If you like natural, beautiful woodworking, this was the place for you.
During these years, we were traveling as a duet, and the primary focus of our summer tours was Red Lodge, Montana, a beautiful town at the foot of 11,000-foot Beartooth Pass, which was a scenic road that emanated from the northeast entrance of Yellowstone Park and Wyoming's beautiful Sunlight Basin.
Can you please slow down?
I'm driving just fine, like I always do.
Can we stop up here so I can change my pants? Thank you. We're at 11,000 feet and that canyon is 7,000 feet deep. Please stop at the rest stop so I can change my pants again. Why are you driving so fast?
We're almost in Red Lodge. Don't you know we have to set up our gear before happy hour?
Now alone, Marilyn's mom frequently made it her custom to travel with us to Red Lodge and other places in the Rocky Mountains, and she quickly made herself a welcome part of our Red Lodge family.
They used to say that Red Lodge was not just a town, but rather a family, and Karen and Pius opened their hearts and took Dale and I and my mom in as three of their own. Trout was on the menu for dinner that night, so as family, we took the job.
Aside from being fishermen, Marilyn and I were both university-trained artists. One of the great pleasures we both shared going through the Rocky Mountains was knowing that we were both breaking down everything we saw into paint strokes and composition. It was our ambition to paint from the thousands of pictures we took along the way. Marilyn was the undisputed queen and pilot of our RV. But Marilyn needed hip replacement surgery and a job with health insurance to pay for it. So it was back to Marilyn's original life plan number 1. Our wonderful life in the music business included playing music with lots of incredible musicians in amazingly beautiful places, all while sharing our music with lots of interesting and sometimes famous people. It was a charmed life for which we are forever grateful.
I went to college for 7 years to get my BA degree and my state teaching credential because my original plan was to just be an art teacher for the rest of my life. Good morning, class. If you're lost, this is Art 1. My name is Mrs. Barcelos. I'm writing it on the board right now so you know how to spell it. But you can all just call me Miss B. My days as a folk goddess and rock and roll star were coming to an end. I had to take on the air of authority, and fortunately, I was looking more mature. And of course, I had to get my wheels fixed.
My life has been blessed with cosmic circles of great fortune. Obviously, it was time for me to find a new occupation, and cosmic circles of great fortune played a part here too. Way back when we lived on Henderson Drive, Marilyn used to send out flyers to all the people who signed up on our mailing list. Meanwhile, down the street and around the corner on Henderson Drive lived a man who had helped build this neighborhood. By and by, his daughter grew up and married this man. He was the radioman from my flight crew in the Navy. As luck would have it, they'd buy a house in Los Altos, several miles away, from somebody who was on our mailing list. At some point, while the radioman's wife was cleaning their new house up, she discovered a flyer from us, and it had our return address at 301 Henderson Drive. So she kept it and put it in a drawer. Some years later, my radioman, whose name is Bill, stumbled upon the flyer and asked the wife, "Why did you keep this?" And she said, "Well, it's from Henderson Drive." "I know these people," he declared, and with a little research, he was able to find out that we were still playing at the Holiday Inn in Santa Cruz. Bill, the radioman, was a communication specialist, of course, and so he kept in contact with all our members of our flight crew, and he gathered them together and showed up at the Holiday Inn. It was my great fortune that Bill's collection included this guy, Keith Sorensen. He was the CEO of a corporation called Rasterops. They were the first company to develop a 24-bit color card for the Macintosh. It was an innovation that turned the Macintosh into a very professional workstation. I had earned a degree in graphic design from San Jose State, so I offered my services in exchange for a work system. So there I was in the heart of Silicon Valley, with state-of-the-art gear and a modicum of talent. It put me at the forefront of what would become the dot-com boom of the late 80s and 1990s. We called our new business In-House Design, and we set up shop in Larry's workspace at the rear of the garage at 620 Kenneth Avenue. In those days, not many accomplished artists had the gear to compete with us, and the work poured in. One of our clients gave us their CEO's atrium office downtown in a high-rise just to have us near. That's where we did most of our business with our clients, but we did most of the work home in the garage on 620 Kenneth Avenue.
While we were busy in the garage being creative, my mom was super busy in the house. She had joined a sewing club, and their goal every month was to sew clothes for foster kids of all ages. Her creations were beautiful. She also showed her wares at local fashion shows. My mom also volunteered her time for an organization called Books Aloud. They distributed books on tape to people who could not read or could not see. This is an article about my mom and her work at Books Aloud. Feel free to stop the video and read it at your leisure. Meanwhile, life goes on at home. Here we are in the backyard, enjoying some of Mom's cooking on a wonderful afternoon. Meanwhile, the creative possibilities in Dad's old workshop grew and grew.